You want it? You got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Here we go! Yo, welcome back to the show. Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Streaming worldwide at KFMA.com. And yeah, that's it. That covers all the bases, right, Powers?
Real quick, right there off the top.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Hump Day edition of Beef Vegan Presents. Later on the podcast broadcast, weed rapper extraordinaire Hotrock Supajoint.
Yes!
We're geared up and excited about the Batman. I'm probably going to try to get a sneak peek of the Batman before this Friday. But I will warn you, if you're trying to see the Batman this week and you're going to AMC theaters, they're probably jacking up prices on you. They're charging slightly more for the Batman as like a way to recoup from lost funds of the last couple of years because of the pandemic. They're utilizing this as their golden goose.
How dare they?
Right? Is that a little sacrilegious, a little wrong?
As Mr. Free says, that is cold as ice.
Right. Yeah, I mean, AMC is acting like the Joker here.
Yeah,
you know,
that's ridiculous.
They are the villain, but
they're holding us hostage.
Yeah, in a way. But I mean, apparently, according to these early reviews, it's worth it.
Yeah, is it good?
Yeah,
good.
It's supposedly extraordinary.
Oh,
now,
okay.
You know, I was telling people yesterday that I was venting last week my concern that the hype would be too much.
Yeah, I'm nervous myself.
That'd be very hard to live up to it. And so far. And we'll see with Herb this Friday. It looks like it's blowing past expectations.
Right.
And they're saying, without a shadow of a doubt, this is the best one ever.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, going over the Christopher Nolan trilogy, which is a pretty impressive feat for a dude who used to play a vampire in Twilight.
Yes.
So it's really hard to wrap my mind around. To be honest with you, I'm like, no way. No way. So, and I hear that Paul Bano and Colin Farrell are like MVPs and steal the show.
Nice.
And I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
And they're like, way. Rotten Tomatoes is like, way.
Wow.
So, yeah, I know. Say wow.
That's exciting. Wow.
I know.
Wow.
So you can see it right now before it's released Friday if you see it in IMAX. So that's just another way they could go cash grab you. All right. A couple of things that are top stories starting off this morning. There was an Arizona marijuana lab fined nearly $500,000 for intentional inaccurate results. Have you seen this, Powers?
No.
This affects us all, right? So one of the things about the legalization of marijuana is the science behind the marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
You can see exactly what the percentages of the THC levels are. How high will it get you? Also see the CBD levels, like how good for you is it, and you know, other things. But they test it, it's tried and true, and then when it's all tested, they put the results on a sticker, slap it on the bag of weed, and then you buy it at the dispensary. That's what you're paying the taxes for, and then you know it's a safer product and how strong it is, right?
Yeah.
Well, apparently this On Point lab called On Point was lying to boost their results, and they got caught green-handed.
Yeah.
Can't
people just be honest? I mean, hey, we legalized weed. It's like, all right, we're still gonna cheat. Like, why you gotta cheat?
Money. Money.
Never enough.
People pay more for stronger weed.
I know. I was gonna say, do you shop based on percentages?
I do.
I do too.
It's pretty basic. Everyone does, right? You would assume so. I mean, I actually have bought like a relaxing spliff with a lower THC level because I'm like, let me get some of that 90s weed. Let me take it back to the 90s where it was just like, you know, maybe some winter buds or summer swag, whatever, but it got the job done, gave me the giggles, and didn't just completely like wreck me for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
That kind of weed. Do you have any of that? And Spencer's like, absolutely, bro. It comes in this little tin. And you're like, all right. So, yeah, but for the most part, you look at those percentages and you guess me. And you're like, okay, yeah, that seems pretty solid. I will get that, but it was all a ruse if it came through On Point, and they did it enough to where they got fined $500,000. This is the first major fine in the marijuana business in Arizona.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of marijuana, you know, of course, with inflation, it's everywhere, right? Gas is going up, food is going up. Last night during the State of the Union address, the president addressed this, and he said he's going to crack down on big business making record profits, which is good because we kind of touched on this before, because these quarterly reports from, Wall Street are stating that these companies, the cost hasn't been going up for them. They have literally just been increasing the price because wages have gone up, and they have been reporting record profits during this recovery from recession and pandemic. So they're taking advantage of the American people. We know this as fact because if they're a public company, a publicly traded company, they have to disclose and record their earnings calls, their quarterly earnings calls, to which they are literally saying it, the words out of their mouth. There's no conspiracy there. It's right there in front of your face.
Yep. I listen to the WWE's calls. You can listen to these calls.
Yes, you can. And for quite some time, as soon as you become a publicly traded company, that's the law. And, it was addressed yesterday that, the president and the administration wants to crack down on these companies recording record profits during this time, which is good. Everyone could agree on that. But one thing that isn't being affected by inflation is the weed, my friend.
Oh.
Yeah. Prices for weed is actually going down and that's good because I need to get really high after I fill up my gas tank. Cause I'm like, oh my God, did I just spend that much money on gas? I want to forget that immediately. And then I got my weed in, and according to On Point, it's 300% THC. And I'm like, all right. And I smoked some of that. Wait, that's not working. 300%. Come on, man. So then I smoked more of it, and eventually I forget what I'm doing, and I forgot that I just spent $72 to fill up my Kia Soul.
There you go. And it'll get you. Luckily, we have coupons for marijuana. Who would have ever thought?
Oh, yeah. Well, just like in Oregon, just like in Colorado, just like in California, as these dispensaries continue to stock up, there's an overabundance. And with the supply and demand, we can only buy so much weed. We can only smoke so much weed. And I know some of you out there taking that as a personal challenge and say, oh, yeah, well, hold my bong. But the fact of the matter is we do have a surplus. When we have a surplus, those prices go down. And that's the good news. So, yeah, sure. Like we'll get the munchies and we can't afford to eat, but we could just get stoned again and forget that we're hungry in the first place.
It's true.
And we'll do that for free. So
there you go.
I'm just trying to silver line stuff.
Inflation happens. The dollar menu still exists.
No, it doesn't.
What do you mean?
The dollar menu's up. The dollar menu is not $1 anymore, dude.
There's some dollar items.
No, you're not going to get it. Look it up right now. In fact, actually, today is National Egg McMuffin Day, too.
Oh,
so,
is it?
Yeah, you can get an Egg McMuffin now for $17. I'm just kidding. All right, let's hit the reset. Be back with your morning moron right after this. We got 3 Days Grace coming up after Corn. It's Freak on the Leash kicking things off on this hump day. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Let's go. Good morning, everybody. That was our show open, and we're back here live. Let me reintroduce to you my friends here on the stream. Of course, we got Powers, as always, on this Wednesday, and you smell that?
I do.
Yeah, of course you smell that. Weed rapper extraordinaire, Mr. Hotrock Supajoint. Good morning, Hotrock. How you doing, bud?
What's up, homie? I do take personal offense to what you just said about all that weed, yo. I'll smoke it, homie. I'll do it.
I know. I did think about you when I said that, and I'm like, yeah. No, Hotrock's like, oh, that sounds like a challenge. Have you seen my podcast? Yes, I smoke that much every given Wednesday, and that's for sure. Real quick, yes, Manny, we are still good for Friday. I shit the bed when I did Streamer Appreciation Week. It's only going to be one day now with you, Manny. I'm going to have you join the show. I will email you back after the podcast, give you all the details that you need to know. Because Manny gets special treatment because he is literally listener number one on the roll call when we did that at the beginning of this run, and it's a prestigious title, one that he earned.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah, he answered all the trivia questions about it, and he earned the title listener number one. The rest of you guys, eventually, I will get you in on the stream, and you can join us in studio. It's just been a chaotic week. I do have good news, though. I won't say too much about this, but I could say a little bit about this, right, Powers?
I don't know what show about, so yes.
Okay, so right now, currently, they're doing research on the station and doing music research to freshen up the playlist, right? And my managers slipped in a couple questions about the show, right, to see if people out there are enjoying the show.
This show, his show.
Yeah, this show. This podcast broadcast that we're doing, this radio show that we've been doing, that I've been fighting and butting heads with people along the way, but according to research, right, we are overwhelmingly positive as far as the reaction from listeners are like thoroughly enjoying what we're doing, and it is the best reviewed thing in the entire survey. So like over all the songs and everything, they're talking like, no, this show is awesome. And what's great about this is the show's only been on for about 6 months. So they're kind of like, wow, I haven't really seen results like this for a show so new.
Yeah, the brass is really like, we didn't expect this.
Yes, they didn't.
We put those questions to get you in trouble.
Yeah. We put in these questions to throw in your face and be like, look, bro, you're not as good as you think you are. And I'm like, and then they get the results back and I'm like, guess what? I'm better than I thought I was. Go figure. Go fucking figure. It's amazing. So that's good news. And hopefully that will lead into, us sticking around for a while, further successes, cooler things to do. Fingers crossed, the ratings follow. The ratings are slowly but surely growing up. But again, it hasn't even been a year. And I've been being told for years since I started work for this company, it takes 2 years for a morning show to get established in the market, right? That's the inside baseball radio talk. And I only have a 1-year contract. So they're like, hey, what's your rush? I'm like, what's my rush? You tell me I have 2 years to get established. I only got 1 year, bro. So I got to double time this shit, right? So that's my reasoning behind it. But so things are going good. People are digging it. The podcast is doing well. You guys are awesome. The support and interaction and stuff is definitely what makes it. Friends like Hotrock joining the show adds a flavor that Tucson radio has not seen in quite some time. So we're happy to be a part of that.
So when he says tell a friend to tell a friend, do it for real. Because turns out he's pretty funny and good at this. Who knew?
I knew. Hotrock knew.
There you go. That's why Hotrock's with us.
Yeah.
You can trust him.
I know where the awesome happens, homies.
That's
Yes. Well, awesome happens wherever you show up, bro. Yeah. So we've been geeking out on the Batman, obviously, for quite some time. It's the Batman week. And so we decided to review the Batman movie hack that you did because it was amazing. And we're going to do that here in a little bit because why not, right?
It's a review. It's a preview review. I love it, homie. This is awesome.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's rightfully so because I thought, look, last week we were talking about it. I thought the Batman wouldn't hold up to reviews. Like I thought the hype was just too much and our expectations were too high, pun intended. And now we're getting these early reviews and it looks like it's going to be even better than what we thought it could be, which is amazing. Have you seen it yet?
I ain't seen it yet. I'm going to see it this weekend, homie. I'm excited.
You can see it right now in a HiMax theater.
HiMax.
Ooh. I can't see it right now because I'm on the radio, homie.
Yeah. You can see it right after the show if you go to a HiMax theater. So, that just keep that in mind. Now it will cost you a little bit more money because they're trying to make money back, but it might be worth it to see it in IMAX. I don't know.
How do you feel about IMAX experience stuff? Have you done it a few times?
Yeah, I like it.
It's like
watching.
You feel like it's worth it?
The side of a building. I mean, I don't think it's too much of a difference than a regular movie theater.
I don't. I think I saw Avatar 3D in the IMAX. It's like, yes. I remember seeing Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, which was really good because it's CG.
It's a cartoon, yeah.
No, CG cartoon is better than
as far as 3D. Yeah. Okay.
And it was alright, but even still, it was like meh. Like
3D is overhyped.
It's overhyped.
Yeah.
I'd rather just watch a regular movie.
All right, we got 10 seconds. Good morning. Keep those comments coming. Good morning, Christina.
Beefers. Can I start calling you Beefers?
Yeah, no. Beefers is not my name. Here we go. Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Joining us live via stream is weed rapper extraordinaire, Mr. Hotrock Supajoint. Good morning, Hotrock.
Morning, homies. Thanks for having me again, yo.
Each and every Wednesday. We look forward to it. All right, so we're going to do a review of a movie hack on the video podcast broadcast stream here in a little bit of The Batman. What was your version called again?
It's The Batman with 2 E's, so it differentiates between all the other Batmans. And the idea was, why does Batman's parents have to die, homie? We've rewritten this story. We've rebooted it so many times. Let's let his parents live, yo.
That's true. And actually, I was coming across a piece in the article or an article online talking about how they address the reason why Bruce Wayne's parents die in this film that makes him distinctively different than the previous times that we've seen it in other
Oh.
Batman films. So
Well,
that's something to look forward to in the Batman.
That is
so
interesting.
Ooh.
maybe, just maybe, Hot Rock, they saw this movie Hack and they're like, oh, we got to rewrite. We got to get
There it
we
is.
gotta fix this. Yeah. Maybe you did some stuff, man.
Fingers crossed, homies.
All right, let's get into this. I came across this survey here about eating habits, right? So, like, if you're eating like a balanced meal, like proteins, vegetables, grain, maybe like a carb, do you alternate them as you eat, or do you just eat one at a time? Now, this, I know it seems like an odd question to ask, but a survey on eating habits did ask this, and 18% say they always eat one thing at a time. So I think this is a perfect way to see if somebody has serial killer tendencies, right? You take them on a date and just watch how they eat. Now, when you eat, Powers, do you just devour the food in front of you? Do you combine it? What are some habits that you've noticed that you picked up over time?
I definitely am a flavor maniac. I like the variety. So I do go like up. It's a main, a side, a main dip with a side, add a gravy, add a salt, add all that stuff. I do have a friend. She will eat all the French fries first. Then she eats all the other things first. And then she says, the steak is the dessert. And it's like, you're a lunatic.
Yeah, that is mental for sure. What about you, Hot Rock? You got any weird eating habits?
Edibles first, homie. You eat the edibles first, and then you eat everything else.
Yeah, that's dangerous, dude. That is super dangerous because you don't stop eating if you eat edibles first.
If you're pro like me, it's not that dangerous, homie.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I guess you're right about that. I was just talking to my friend Yasmin about this the other day, actually, because I developed a weird eating habit when I eat hamburgers.
Okay.
And I developed this habit during going to ISS growing up in school. ISS is in school suspension. That essentially was my home base. I would be there more often than in regular classes. And when you're in school suspension, you're super bored. So one of the things you look forward to is lunch. It's actually the only thing to look forward to. So what I would do to prolong my lunch is I would rabbit eat my food, my like hamburger, one thing at a time. So top bun, then like the patty.
No.
Yes, then the bottom, just to make it to where it takes me an hour to eat a hamburger, which is great for your metabolism, by the way. But I was still fat.
Yeah, we've hung out and I've seen you eat sandwiches. I've never gotten a burger with you. Do you still do this?
I take off like a bun. I will eat the patty first.
He's like a 4-year-old.
Open face.
Yeah, and I like all the stuff on it. But again, it's a weird habit that I developed during a time in my life where you're developing.
Yeah.
Right. And so, something about eating just the patty by itself is exciting to me. So, yes, I am odd as well. We're going to continue this conversation on the podcast broadcast stream. Plus, I'm going to play you a video of a mom who ate her daughter's edibles and could not stop laughing. It's hilarious, and you got to see it. That's only on the podcast broadcast. So join us on the Rock 102.1 Facebook page or youtube.com/beefvegan. Rob Zombie and I Prevail coming up on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear. All right. So that was 5 minutes.
That was longer than 5 minutes. We did we kind of did 2 topics.
Yeah, right. All right. Well,
Like I was surprised when we went to like, oh, now we're gonna talk about food. We should just cut it. But who cares?
Yeah,
We're getting
yeah.
better.
Okay. So it's Power's job now. We just recently had a meeting, and it's Power's job to keep me on track because they say that I have ADD so bad that I'll just continue to go boo, boo, boo. Look at this. Oh, I'm over here. I'm over there. Right. And as far as time, if I'm on a roll, then I'm just going to keep on rolling, baby. Now, I have a decent internal clock, but sometimes when I do try to shoehorn in too much shit, it can run a little too long. And
That's what it was, because we talked about Batman, and that wound up being 2.5 minutes.
yeah.
Batman, and then you start a segment.
And so Powers is the time guy. They gave him this position, this responsibility, if you will. And look at him. He's like, Batman was 2.5 minutes, and then we went 4 minutes on that. So he is like taking it like seriously and really good on the time, dude. Do you have a stopwatch or anything?
I was using this thing for stopwatch.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy.
Producer role.
Yeah.
A little.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
That's how you do it, man. I mean, I wasn't a producer until I became a producer.
Yeah.
And then like, guess I'm a producer now. Shit. All right. Producer.
I tried using my watch, but I took the batteries out, so it's always 420, homies.
Shut up, dude.
I can't
Me too.
Get him.
Me too.
Look, I got my East Coast too, yo. I got East Coast time too, 420 there too, homies.
Hold it up on the main screen.
I got West Coast time, and it's 420. See how it say 420 right there? And then I got East Coast time too, just in case. It's 420 there too. I take the batteries out of all my watches so I know what time it is.
We're kindred spirits. So my batteries just died, and then I like wearing a watch, so I'm gonna still wear a watch. And then I set mine.
Yes,
420.
It's the best time ever.
That is so funny.
We're fucking weed nerds.
That's
what it
in my
is.
house. Every clock that's broken, I'm like, oh well, 420.
420 everywhere, yo.
Absolutely.
Even a broken clock's right 2 times a day.
Right. Well, I look at it. It's like it's always 420. So
That's right.
game on.
It's always right, yo.
That is too funny, dude. Of course. Well, I don't. Just how we are, bro. That's how we are. All right, I'm gonna gear up and get ready to play this clip of this mom who enjoyed the edibles and did not know she was doing edibles, and then just went into a full blown giggle fest, which is fantastic. But while I set that up, I do want to review what we've been talking about. The Batman is probably one of my favorite movie hacks that you've done. You were spot on all the way through on this one, and you always deliver with these movie hacks. So in honor of the Batman coming out this Friday and available on IMAX everywhere, hell, I say it like they're paying me to say it. That's how good I'm doing promoting. Here's Hotrock Supajoint's movie hack. Check this out.
This is Supajoint movie preview hack, yo. Yeah.
It's been almost 20 years since that night. After that movie, walking home, my parents, that alleyway. This is what made me who I am now. I know what I have to do. I must put a stop to all movies being released in theaters. So what happened to me can't happen to any other child of uber-rich parents. How can anyone watch these hyper-violent movies with all the sex and drugs and guns and explosions over and over and not turn to a life of crime?
Oh, come on, Batman. We just want to go see a movie in the theater, homie. Yeah.
You want some hyper-violence? I've got some in my hands right here.
Yeah. Ow, bro, we just want to go see Sing 2, yo.
Liar, no one wants to see that.
Hold up just a goddamn second, Batman. I don't know if you should be blaming your situation entirely on these movies, homie.
What are you saying?
Think about it. Your parents could have taken so many different routes that night. Y'all could have walked down Safety Lane, or up North Well-Lit Avenue, or even across No Muggers Boulevard. But y'all chose to go down Crime Alley, homie. Who the fuck chooses Crime Alley is the best way to go home?
Are you saying I should change the name of the alley?
I don't think you understand what he's saying.
No. It's the producers, the writers, the actors.
Don't hate the player, hate the game, yo.
It's the entire system. The movie houses, the concession stand employees, the projectionists.
Oh my goodness, it sounds like somebody might be projecting a little right now. Yeah.
No, I'm the good guy.
I don't know, homie. It's post-COVID world now, yo. And here you be, a bat, closing down theaters and shit. Not a good look, yo. Maybe we need to do a full rewrite. You know what I'm saying?
No rewrites. My parents died. I am vengeance. I'm going to close down movie theaters, so what happened to me could never happen again.
You already said that, Batman. You trapped in a totally unhealthy loop here, Batman. We could rewrite these wrongs. You just gotta work with me here, yo.
No, my parents died. You can't bring them back.
Jesus Christ, Batman, it's just a fucking story. We rewrite this shit. You go marry Selena Kyle. Your parents are still alive. They be at the wedding. You two go have a couple bat kittens or whatever. We'll just put an E at the end of the, so it's the Batman. Then everybody knows it's different.
Could I still be vengeance?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Can there still be vengeance? We were just talking about the silliness of the face being exposed in the Batman mask and how the villains never just shoot him in the face. But
Right?
you know,
and he just Shoot him in the face.
I saw a joke as to why Batman's mouth was exposed. I mean, you've seen this joke probably before.
Have I?
Yes, I've seen this joke.
Yeah, it's so police know that he's white.
There it is.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah. No, is it though?
So
A guy dressed up doing vengeance all over the city. You know, like, is he on our side or not? Well,
He's
did you
called
see
the
his
Dark
mouth?
Knight. Oh, get
Yeah.
him. No, look at his mouth. Oh, he's
Oh, okay, who's good?
He
Okay,
gets-
yeah, go get him, Batman.
yeah.
It is ridiculous. I mean, at a certain point, you know, I mean, they have to continue to retroactively set this film, you know, because like this Batman is, I think, in the 80s or something like
Is
that.
that what they're
right?
doing? They're messing with time?
Well, they're just
Okay.
kind of going back a little bit, I believe, and I could be wrong.
It's year 2. I heard that it's Batman's second year as Batman.
Right. And
So he's
that,
still
that
trying
I
to
get,
figure
but
it out.
like, is it set in like the 80s? It feels like. Is
Yes,
it
I
set in
think
modern times.
Based off, you know, the gadgets and the cars and everything, it's a little bit back in. And you think Joker and that kind of timeline, and that might be Joaquin Phoenix being able to go into that universe.
Mhm.
And that's probably why we didn't see the Joker in here, and we see all the other villains. But they have to go retroactive because now we already have Iron Man, and as we get into the future, a character like Batman becomes more and more relevant and then more and more plausible.
That's
I
what Batman has become. He is the technology superhero for sure. Like that's
well,
what he is.
they have to. They have
Yeah.
to just completely rip off Iron Man.
Yep.
Because Iron Man did it best. Now you're like, oh shit, oh,
Yeah.
I did not see that coming. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, so just to nerd out quick, like old Adam West Batman, like that Batman, everyone's like, what in the world?
Mhm.
Bat shark repellent, bat this, bat this. That's because Batman's superpower is that he's prepared for every situation.
Yeah.
He's the smartest guy. He did think of that. He's like, well, we were going out to sea, so I knew that we might do this, so that's why I had it.
Well,
He always thinks 10 steps ahead is the point.
and that's what they're focusing on for the Batman is the detective aspect
Yes.
of it and his intelligence.
Yeah, and
that-
that's interesting.
yeah, and his guy liner and him being super evil.
Guy liner, I'm telling you.
So much guy liner.
I'm
At least
gonna-
they address it. You
I'm
know,
gonna do it. I think I gotta do it. I gotta wear some guy liner. I think it's
you're gonna dress up as Batman. Why don't you dress up as like one of the villains? Like you're more of a Riddler type.
I am more Riddler. I know. I just mean start going out to clubs and stuff, like wearing guy liner. I think. It's
Oh
gonna
no,
work,
yeah, you'll get laid.
right. I
And
think
the
I could
weirder
do
you
it.
look in this town, you were showing me pictures of dudes with super hot girlfriends that look like freak shows.
Yeah.
Because super hot, weird
Tucson.
girls. Yeah, in Tucson.
We got to get you a wig, Powers.
I got a few wigs. No,
Of course he does.
and it's true. All right, wigs definitely helpful. You know what I hate about wigs though? A lot of wigs, you're very one-time use, and then like, oh, now this is stuck and forever ruined.
You have to take care of it. Like, look at
Yeah.
Hot Rock's
Like, you
wigs.
got
I mean,
some
he goes
excellent-
through seasonal wigs, but I
Yes.
mean, that thing, it looks just as glamorous as the day he bought it.
Absolutely.
Right. He could be in Dynasty if they recast that, right?
This is my white snake. This is my white snake wig.
Yeah. Now, is that a wig that's designed and made for women? And then, you know,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, for sure.
You can't find the cool ones, long ones for the dudes, homie. You gotta go.
Yeah.
for that
Can I
shit.
ask you this? Like, where do you get the wig? Without revealing too many secrets. And how much does a wig like that cost?
So this wig's probably about $100 because it's pretty long.
Yes.
It's not real hair because I can't afford the real hair.
I was about
Homie.
to say,
I
it's
spend money on
human hair.
weed. No, this is that fake hair. It brings my IQ down by about 10 points when
Yeah,
I wear
nice.
this, so it's perfect for the super joint, yo.
I wonder if the backwards hat does that for me. Even though I feel-
Definitely. Definitely. That's it. And it's a fountain of youth.
Yes, it does. It does work that way. 15 seconds. We're going to talk about this 9-year-old kid from Brazil real quick. And then after that, we're going to play the video of this mom, or I think this is the daughter, gave her mom edibles and her giggle fit. So that's all coming up. Let's do it.
Sure.
Rock on 2.1 KFMA. Still hanging out with weed rapper Hotrock Supajoint on the live podcast broadcast stream. He has a podcast that airs each and every Weed's Nest night, which is tonight, 7 p.m. You can live stream it by finding him at supajoint.com, SUPA joint.com. We've all seen the movie Home Alone. We know how wacky that premise is. But I'll give you a story of like a real life Kevin McAllister
Mhm.
who basically made the decision to leave home, and he was alone. He's 9 years old and he snuck out of his house, boarded a plane, and flew 1,700 miles without his parents.
What?
Yes, this is a real story. It happened. Mom in Brazil woke up at 5:30 a.m. on Saturday morning, and her 9-year-old son was still sleeping in his bed. But when she checked again at 7:30, he was gone. I remember my sister and I attempting to run away from home around that age and going like 2 doors down in our apartment complex and just camping out by the dumpsters. We were not as smart as this kid, apparently.
Apparently not scouts growing up.
Yeah, now he wasn't kidnapped, so she called the cops, obviously, like a mom would do when she loses a 9-year-old. And they started looking for him. They were looking everywhere in the area, but they didn't look thousands of miles away, and that was the problem. So it turned out he snuck out of the house, made his way to a nearby airport, boarded a flight without being noticed. Like,
how?
Because when you do stuff confidently and you're small,
and you're a little kid,
people
everyone's just
assume
gonna
he's
he's with an adult.
Wow. And he's smart enough to know that.
Yep.
Right. And then he flew to another city in Brazil, almost 1,700 miles away. Now his mom was panicked all day until an employee from the airline called him around 10 p.m. and said her son was fine. Now it turns out he wanted to visit some family members who lived across the country, and he'd been planning it. This kid is devious. He even Googled the phrase, how to get on an airplane unnoticed.
Wow.
Yes.
That's cunning.
It wasn't even accidental, dude.
That's amazing.
Yeah, this kid, this 9-year-old kid from Brazil, I have a feeling this is not the last we're going to hear from this kid. We're going to know about this kid 25 years from now when he is like the leader of the new free world.
Yeah.
So authorities are still trying to figure out how he managed it, but that's just, don't underestimate kids. This 9-year-old kid's goddamn genius. Now the airline flew him back to the airport and he flew out the next day and he's back home. And you know what's even best about this whole story?
What?
Is that he didn't have to pay for any of it.
Yeah.
Neither did his mom.
Oh, good.
Brilliant. So it's an amazing story. It's so weird. It has to be true. So, and this is a true story as reported by the New York Post. I'll show a picture of the kid on the podcast broadcast stream. You could join us there on the Rock 102.1 Facebook page or youtube.com/beefvegan. Let's hit the reset. We'll be back with headlines right after this. Clear. Okay.
Funny.
Yes. All right. Now it is crazy, right? So amazing. So amazing.
Can I drop it a thing there?
Sure.
One time a young me did the same thing, and that's how I wound up in Tucson, Arizona, except I was 21.
Yeah, you were 21.
But I did just leave, and I called my parents from like, I'm about to get on the plane. She's like, no, you're not. I'm like, no, I am. And I quit my job. I was just done, and I flew away.
Right, because you're like, no more Long Island. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I stayed gone for about 3.5 weeks. It was a good time.
Yeah. I don't blame you. And it worked out for you good here in Tucson for the most part.
Well, not only that, I then, my sister had moved to California a month before, which is half the reason I kind of left. I was like, enough of this. And go visit her, stay in Tucson for a couple weeks, go visit her, go to California, go to the San Diego Zoo. And then what do you see there? Pandas. And I discover my pissed off panda. And that's where I get my cartoon character inspiration to this very day.
All right.
Yeah. It's the most important trip I ever took in my lilife.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Pretty
fun
neat.
facts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm digging it.
I was chasing a girl. It didn't work out with her, but I got a kid out of it. So that's all.
All right. Let's get into this edible story here.
Yes.
Okay.
This is hilarious. I can't wait.
Yeah, this is fantastic. So just a recap. So this woman, I believe she's not the mom. I have not got to press play yet. So her mom, this is in Australia. The mom accidentally ate 3 of her adult daughter's weed cookies. And her daughter tells her about it, but it's just too late when she does tell her about it. So yeah, this is the girl telling her mom about the weed cookies. Let's check it out.
Because not just one.
How many of those have you had?
A couple with my tea.
How many exactly have you had?
Right? I taste a bit weird.
There's a bud in them.
What you mean?
How many have you had?
Right?
3 whole ones. Whole one.
What do you mean?
Marijuana.
Ew.
That's adorable.
Isn't that fantastic?
At Pulte Homes,
Hold on
we
a
build
second.
spaces to
Yeah.
Oh my God,
that's-
it's like us an hour into the podcast when all of our edibles start kicking in. That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yes, it is. It's much like that. So you guys have to check out, if you haven't checked out the podcast that Supajoint does. It is a good time. And again, if you're trying to keep up with them, then you'll have the giggle fits just like that.
How many milligrams do you eat in an edible there, Hot Rock, when you start your show?
So I get those the gummies that are medical gummies, so they're 20 each, and I'll have a couple of those.
Okay.
And then studio audience is always bringing in weed food that he's cooked up and stuff like that. So yeah, we just get into it. We just start going, few bowls here, a couple bongs there. Let's get some edibles. Let's get some more edibles. It's good times, yo.
Yeah, it's nonstop. And you're just like, yeah, should I try this? They're never saying, nah, I'm good. It's always like, okay.
We got a segment called Can We Get High to It, where we check out music. So tonight we've got 15 songs that we're going to be smoking weed to each song tonight.
I've played that with you before.
I'm going to
get high to
I'm
it.
going to predict this right now. You're not going to get to all 15 songs. You're going to forget what you were doing after. I'm going to say we're not even going to get to double digits. I'm going to say it's going to get to 9. and then you're going to forget the rest of the segment. And
we're going to find out. We're going to find out, homies, ice skirt.
Yeah. So this is the kid. This is the 9-year-old brainiac here. And it's good.
Awesome.
Yeah. He's a genius.
He's going to be
Kid
an awesome
genius.
rapper someday.
He is. Oh, yeah. I'm sure he's already working on them bars, son. Yeah.
There's a lot of Australia news. Because Australia is like the Florida of the world, kind of. Is that true?
No, not necessarily. China does.
No, they're not the Florida.
No, trust me. When you do this game for long enough, you'll understand that most of the weird stories, especially when it comes to dick stuff, is China.
I believe that.
Yes, but
Australia's got more colorful characters.
Yeah, no, I mean, Australia can get extreme and crazy, but not the craziest. China definitely competes with Florida on a regular basis. But blame that on the amount of people that they have here. Okay, so this is a woman here. She's Taylor. I don't know how to say it. Shabusiness. It's Shabusiness.
That's Taylor Shabusiness.
Yeah, Taylor Shabusiness.
That's a rap name, homies.
Yeah, Shabusiness. Now Taylor is an attractive woman. To a certain extent, does have a little crazy in her eyes. Now here is the story of Taylor. It gets gruesome. So she is accused and charged with killing and decapitating a Green Bay man at a home after smoking meth with him and banging him. Now, she was banging him while they're all tweaked out, and tweakers get super horny, right? And then started choking him and did not stop.
That's terrible.
Yeah, right? So, Shabusiness seemed like a good time. And I'm sure on the way out, the guy involved was like, yeah, this is awesome. She's crazy and riding it like a cowgirl and wah, wah, wah. And then I can't breathe. Oh, cool. I'm going to finish so hard and then done. And then it gets crazier. So this, I only say this stuff on the broadcast stream because I like to share pictures and whatnot.
Yeah, you left out the decapitating part.
Okay, the decapitating part. I didn't say that on the air. And not only did she decapitate him, she also castrated him and then right, tried to cut his legs off and put it in a crock pot.
Oh, she's going full
meth, homies.
Right.
Don't smoke meth, yo. That's the moral
Don't smoke
of this
meth.
story.
Right.
What in the
and even
world?
with this story, though, you see this girl. Are you still attracted to her?
No, I'm terrified. This is
I'm zooming in. I'm like,
when you went to like, oh wow, she kind of looks like this wrestler I know. To then you go through the photos, and then you go back to her. I'm like, a monster. Like, oh my gosh,
she is a monster. Yes, and that's a story out of Wisconsin.
That was Wisconsin.
Wisconsin,
wow.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Lord.
There you go, sex worker. And so Mike was throwing out riddles and stuff. Got Sarah's attention. So,
okay.
So let's see. Yeah, it went down in a dark alley. That's nothing. Earlier today, we talked about Cain Velasquez, a former UFC champion, who was arrested and charged with attempted murder yesterday. Initial reports was just that he was being held without bail on attempted murder, which is very dark and a dark turn from Cain Velasquez, who used to live in Scottsdale, Arizona, was a bouncer. I think he went to ASU and, of course, a 2-time heavyweight champion in the UFC. It's a bad look for the UFC, and it's also just a bad look for Cain, right? Like, how have the mighty have fallen? Well, it turns out, and this is the dark turn on this, he had a relative that was being molested. So the guy that he shot at was the accused molester. Now, this is a kid. This is a kid in the daycare, so it's a young kid. Very dark. But of course, we ask the normal questions like, look, dude, you're Cain Velasquez. You're still like this big, intimidating dude. Pull the guy out of the car and beat his ass. Don't shoot him, right? And then at least you got the gratification there. It's like, hey, we understand that you want to get mad enough to kill this guy. That's and there's a lot of juries out there that would definitely say justifiable homicide on
right.
that.
Right.
You know,
Temporary insanity.
and it's
I
still
saw him and saw red.
initially you see these reports and you're like, oh, his life is over. He's going to be in prison for the rest of his life. But now you're thinking, okay, he'll probably get these charges lowered to lesser charges. He ended up shooting the accused molester's stepfather. So it was,
So he shot at this guy and then accidentally shot an innocent bystander.
right.
This is why Batman doesn't use guns, homies.
Exactly.
Yes.
You got to dispense justice with your fists.
Right. Exactly.
That's what you do. Because then the situation would be this. Here's what Cain Velasquez would be in.
Okay.
Then it would just be a trial of like, ooh, are his hands, do they count as weapons? And it would be a nice gray area to be like, do his hands count as weapons? And they'd be like, well, that's a molesting piece of crap. No, he's off.
Yeah,
So
not in
this
this
is-
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild gunfire and someone innocent got shot. Like, you idiot.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, so it sucks. And everything about that story, and it's super dark. We did it at like 6:30. What a way to start a show. I know. Yeah.
Let's go to the Ukraine. Let's call into the Ukraine.
I know.
now,
We're
homie. Come
avoiding
on,
like
let's do
that to talk about.
Well, that's the thing. I've been
That
in-
was a celebrity headline, though, and I only
It
knew the
was.
headline, so I did need the back and forth. That
Yes.
was reasonable to talk
Well,
about.
and I needed to clarify because a lot of people like Powers only saw the initial headline, and when you see the initial headlines, you assume the worst. You're like, oh, I didn't know Cain Velasquez was a piece of shit.
Yep, and that's what every headline made it sound like. They all
They're done.
clickbaited it. All of
Done.
them.
Right. And it's like, no, not so fast. He's not a piece of shit. He made a terrible decision.
Yep.
But still justifiable. And then we were getting people calling, and I was recording the calls, and Power's like, no, we're not going to be talking about molestation for the next half hour. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, segment
good call,
over. Let's
good
talk
call.
about random
Are-
facts about potatoes and stuff.
Hold on.
Right.
Let me check my watch and see how long we're into this segment real quick.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
2
been-
seconds too
oh,
long.
It's been 4 minutes and 20 seconds, homie. It's time to move on.
Perfect
yo.
time to cut it.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up. Yes. I know.
Funny.
I know. But it was still interesting enough. And I did want to share that part just to say, unfortunately I had to add the grisly details, but I had to say, hey, there was reason, and it's in a way.
They
So
left out the grisly details of that lady, which was nice.
yeah.
The decapitating castration. Good Lord.
I wanted to
So here's my
surprise you on that.
question to that too, because
Okay.
now they should be saying, okay, this woman, which maybe something comes out, is her DVD collection like filled with Dexter? Okay, because some of these ladies are filled with this true crime. They love this true crime.
All women are.
They are obsessed with it. It's terrifying.
Look, you could falsely accuse a woman of being a potential serial killer just based off of their Netflix browser history, right?
100%.
Because they all watch the murder porn all day long. And I've asked women before, and I think surveys have asked women before why they enjoy it. And they enjoy it so much because it's so plausible in their life because, and that's what's terrifying about it. Be like, yeah, if you could get like swooped up and murdered at any moment in life, what gives you the bravery to walk out the front door? Like, I'd be like, fuck that. Dave Chappelle had a great analogy and joke, right? So Dave Chappelle, when he first got famous, he just acquired a large sum of money. He got paid something like $10,000, and he put it in his backpack, and he was walking down the street in DC, and he was so nervous that somebody would figure out that he had $10,000 in his backpack, that he would get robbed or beat up for this $10,000, right? And he was just like, everyone was a suspect, a potential person who could violate him and rob him of this money. And he's like, that's how women feel every day.
Yep.
When they go out, their vagina is essentially $10,000 in a backpack.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you're like, oh.
No, that's real.
Yeah.
That's real scary.
Professor Dave, man, at it again. I know he gets labeled as right wing and they like to cancel him and stuff for some of the things he talks about, but there's a lot of wisdom in his humor.
Yeah.
And definitely puts it in layman's terms to where I can understand, where I'm like, oh, Oh, okay. And now that terrifies me for having a daughter, right? And it terrifies me for my daughter.
Well, that's always been the thing. A lot of my friends have daughters. A lot of them do, and that's always been the joke. Is like, oh, it's a girl, like
Right.
that's what it is. Whereas with a guy, you're just like, all right, good luck.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
It's,
That's sexist and stereotyping too.
it
though.
is, but
Yeah.
it is like that's.
All right, let me ask you this. So I was gonna do headlines. I did tease headlines, so I'll do quick headlines next.
Yeah.
But okay, so they did a survey here. There's a specific bathroom stall that always gets used. Okay. So when you go into a public bathroom, say you got to do number 2, and there's 3 stalls, which stall are you using?
the handicap stall.
Right, the one farthest from you. Right. What
It's
about you,
usually
Hot
the
Rock?
handicap stall?
Whichever one has the hole in it so you can pass the joint between.
That's not what that hole's for. Hot.
Yeah,
God!
I know. So the stall that we always think is going to be the cleanest or safest is always the dirtiest and the most used, and it is the one furthest away from us. Okay, so it is, and I think I was going to use this as a beef tip. I would say go for the stall that is closest to you. That's the one that's never used. The middle stall also gets used very little because people don't want to poop with 2 other people on each side of them.
Sides of
Right.
them, yeah.
But, the reality is everyone's using that farther stall. So that one's going to be grosser. That one closest, the one that everyone avoids. So if you want a clean toilet in a public bathroom, then use the stall that's closest to you. And just announce that you're pooping so everyone leaves the bathroom.
I was gonna say screaming helps a lot
Yeah,
to keep people away. Just scream furiously.
Rock 102.1 KFMA, hanging out here with Hotrock Supajoint. Time for some headlines that I didn't get to today. So, according to new research, 1 in 5 people are diagnosed with ADHD, and those people have shown clear signs of significant hoarding tendencies. So, if you've been diagnosed with ADHD, there's a good chance you might be a hoarder. Don't go anywhere, Powers.
Don't you
get
point
back
at
here
me.
in the stream. I'm talking to you. Clean that mess up, man. But say it's not your fault. It's your ADHD.
That's some of it. It's ridiculous.
Blame it on my ADHD. Remix. Okay. This seems like it could be awkward. Soon you'll be able to ask your Amazon Alexa device to connect you with a doctor. Now, it's not a life alert type thing. It's specifically for non-emergencies. So you just say something like this: Alexa, get me in touch with a gynecologist. You're welcome, Tucson. I just did that. So
That's horrible.
yeah. All right. March is Women's History Month, as you might know. So Wallet Hub ranked the best and worst states for women. And the best are Massachusetts and Minnesota. And the worst, Oklahoma and Arkansas.
Yeah.
Right. Even more so that you're okay. No, I was going to do some cousin joke. Okay, I'm done. Final headline. We haven't touched on Ukraine at all. Russian state media prematurely published an article announcing a victory over Ukraine, which celebrated the return of Russia to its historical borders in Europe. Meanwhile, the Ukrainians are like, not so fast. Hold my Molotov cocktail.
Oh, jeez.
I felt like Johnny Carson saying that.
Yeah, there you go. You need the
yeah.
hi-yo.
All right. Those are quick headlines. We'll be back with your beef tip right after this. Stick around, please.
Then you say that like take my wife. Stick around, please.
Yeah. All right. So, how you guys doing in the stream here? What's our comments looking like? I did want to play a game with you guys. I did not have enough time to get it ready because I wanted to try. I give you 2 challenges here. One, you're like Hot Rock, your stoner movie trivia knowledge, right?
Yes.
And then, but see, I didn't think it would be fair just to say stoner trivia movies in a category where you and Powers go heads up. So to counter that, I was going to do Disney movies as the second round, to make it fair.
Can we do Disney stoner movies, homie?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there?
Well, I'll ask you this right now. Okay, which Disney movie is the best movie to get stoned to?
Should we just say it on 3?
Let's say it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Fantasia.
Alice in Wonderland. You know what? He's right though too.
Yes.
We're both right.
So
right,
you
no.
thought you were gonna have this magic moment, but
Yeah.
no, fail. So yeah, it looks like I like both those, Fantasia and Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland is best to do psychedelics too.
Definitely.
But to get stoned, to smoke weed and dance with a broom or a mop,
Yep.
Fantasia.
Big fat hippos. Good time.
Yeah.
Hippo ballerinas.
Well, okay. Well, out of those two, it looks like Mecca says Fantasia. Mike says Fantasia. Everyone and other Mike said Fantasia. Totally thinking Fantasia. So it looks like, Hot Rock was right.
I bow down to that for sure. Fantasia's the one to think about.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Then
Fantasia 2000 even. Who knows?
Yes. Without. Yeah. Alice in Wonderland is a trip on its own.
Yeah.
So you don't even need to be high. But the Chester Cat, man.
Yeah. What would be a third one, do you think? And I'm going to pulse one out of nowhere, like the Black Cauldron. Would that be one that's like, because it's got a lot of weird stuff in it?
What's the one with the chick that turns into a fish?
The chick that turns into a, what, Little Mermaid?
Yeah.
That's a fish that turns into a lady.
Oh, I'm
But
wrong there.
that might be, I mean, that's probably good because Sebastian's fun. He's Jamaican.
Exactly. He's Jamaican.
Right?
They can't even do that anymore. It's like typecasting and racist. You know,
true.
most of all Disney films are all canceled.
Yeah.
You know,
Live action.
Under the Sea.
Yeah. Live action Ariel was black. They did that or are doing that when they do live action.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I think they did. Sebastian's can still be Jamaican.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Something about crabs and Jamaicans make it racist. I don't know.
Is
I
it?
mean, don't blame me. Blame the internet, man. You know, that's the internet says it. I live in privilege. I didn't even realize that all the beloved characters I watched growing up were all terrible human beings and typecast and stereotypes. There are a lot of them. I mean, a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, even till when we're growing up, there's still so many stereotype jokes growing up.
I know.
You know,
we grew up with a stereotype. Stereotypes were funny, and then we realized they were hurtful. We're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So now it's
must
like
make those people feel horrible.
Right. I was watching the Euphoria finale, which a lot of people were pissed off about.
Oh,
I don't know if you watched Euphoria. Did you watch Euphoria? No.
I ain't seen it yet.
Season finale?
Yeah, the season finale, season 2 finale, and they're doing this like play. And I think there was something that this Sydney character said on the stage when she was upset about the play being said, and someone in the crowd was like, "That's racist." And it wasn't racist at all, but that just, that captures this generation. There's so many different things. We're like, nah, that's racist. That's racist too. It's like, ooh, yeah, it's.
That's one of my favorite things to yell at someone to like disarm them in a fight. It's just be like, you're a racist. And they're like, what? They don't know what to do.
I like doing that at all the NASCAR events. That's racist.
They're like, yeah, that's why we're here.
I know.
Yeah,
because they're
honk their horn
because they're
more.
racing.
No.
That's so funny. We didn't even get it.
Damn, Hot Rock. Got us.
I
again.
used to be a race, but I messed up my knee and now can't race no more.
You guys want to see something funny? We're gonna bust Herb's balls on Friday.
React to this image. React to this image, Hot Rock.
Yeah. So Herb got to
Herb
interview,
like weed, like HERB. Herb like
no. Herb Stratford, our movie review icon, and he just got to interview Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage, of course, from Game of Thrones, and he's in this new movie Cyrano, and that's why he interviewed him. But this was the setup for the interview. It was a live video interview.
Thumbnail? What do we think of this?
No, and it's not even the thumbnail.
Oh, it's not
I'm going to
the
show you
thumbnail,
what
it's
the
just the
thumbnail is. Watch how this gets set up, okay? So they're just showing the clip, blah, 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 Peter Dinklage, and there we go. Now, Herb.
Look how big he is.
Yes.
Right. I mean,
Herb in real life is 6'5".
He didn't want to make him feel bad.
Yeah.
He's reprising his role from the Thor movie.
From Thor, yes.
said-
From Avengers
that's what I
Endgame. Yes. So they make, and this is not Herb's call. This is Peter Dinklage's publicist setting up. Be like, you want to do one of these live video interviews? Absolutely. We got the perfect setup for you. And they put Dinklage. He has a giant of a man, and they shrink Herb to turn him into Ant-Man.
It's so funny. Like, that's what I want to say to him on Friday. It's like, I thought you were interviewing Peter Dinklage from Cyrano, not from Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I'm confused, Herb.
It's amazing. It is amazing. Yeah. So,
Like, what a choice.
yeah, it is great. And that's 100% Dinklage. You know it is. He is so anti-stereotype.
That's 200% Dinklage. He's gigantic.
That's too funny. All right, we got about 10 seconds gonna get on here and wrap things up. So
I
keep
thought
that
she was
beat
gonna
going,
rap.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about it.
Oh, don't make me bust out bars, son.
All right, don't.
Yeah, super nice. Rock 102.1 KFMA, not on bath salts, just for the heads up. You know, if you didn't hear that. Yeah, you gonna kick that beat there, Hot Rock? I'm gonna get.
That's all you
get
got.
on
You
it.
got.
Okay, no,
you
I
got
was
two
gonna get
days
on it.
super
I was
show
gonna
if you
get on
want.
it. Was that too
Too
long?
late. Too late.
I was gonna
waiting too
kick
long.
bars,
Jump
son.
on it.
My bars.
You got to get right on that beater. So
Okay.
everybody will jack.
I was gonna go old
steal
school
it.
80s rap. Okay, so watch. Well, you do it again, please. All right, here we go. Then jump on the beat. 1 2 1 2. My name is Beat Vegan, and I'm here to say thank you for listening to KFMA. We'll be back another day. Tomorrow is the day that I was gonna say.
Good job, homie.
No, I do a lot better than that. You know, I just had to go old school 80s there.
I was
just
just saying,
have
I'm
a good
glad you
time.
did. My name is Vegan. I'm here to say. That's
Yeah,
how you
yeah.
start every rap song.
Yeah, yeah,
every
yeah.
good rap song. starts
Right,
that.
and then end it with say as well. Did you
Yes.
know rhyme, or did you know say rhymes with say? A lot of MCs don't know that nowadays.
I just
Yeah.
found out. I'm so excited. I'm going to use it today.
If you use the same word twice, it's always going to rhyme.
That's what.
That's it.
You always do that with that same thing because you could go down by the bay, you can go play in the hay. What do you say? He's always doing that.
I could do better than that, honestly, but yeah, Hot Rock's beat was kind of whack.
Don't pick
What?
on Hot Rock now.
he's not high enough, you know. So
It's
that's
too early, homies. I've only been smoking since 4:20. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, we're almost out of time, so let me wrap it up with this here. Your beef tip. Forget Tylenol. Nostalgia works as a pain reliever too.
Oh.
Yes, this is actually good news for you because I know sometimes you're always in pain.
Yeah.
A new study in China found nostalgia works as a pretty good pain reliever. So, for example, like flipping through an old photo album might make your back hurt less or help you get rid of the headache. Now, that's your physical pain. It might actually grow your emotional pain. You might be depressed, being like, man, I was so skinny back then. Or, oh, remember when I was still like banging hot people? But physically, you'll be so depressed that you'll forget that you're in pain. And that's how nostalgia works as a pain reliever. So my beef tip is if you got a headache, before you reach for that Tylenol, just think about a time when, your life was awesome. Way back when.
Way back then.
When you were
Not
7,
anytime
flying
recently.
across the country.
Yeah. Oh, that's a call back to the story we did earlier.
That's
Yes.
what I do, homie.
Yeah, nice. I'd like to thank Hotrock Supajoint for joining us on this Weedness podcast broadcast. You can check out his podcast stream live tonight and each and every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. To follow Hot Rock, you can just go to supajoint.com, SUPA joint.com. All the links are there. Hot Rock has a bunch of great content online. You're really going to enjoy it. And as far as the podcast is concerned, if you try to keep up with them, good luck. Every time I attempt to, I pass out before halfway through the show. So,
Heck yeah. And they're always looking for submissions if you make fun stuff too.
yep, absolutely. Superjoint.com for more info. Tomorrow morning, we're going to have another News for Noobs giveaway, $50 gift certificate to Bookman's Entertainment Exchange. You'll still have an opportunity to win tickets for Smashing Pumpkins and so much more. My friend Kristen's going to be in on the podcast. We'll have Rico and a whole lot of fun. So make sure you join us then. Till then, Riley's up next with Greta Van Fleet tickets. So stick around. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Drive safe, ride safe. And as always,
Rock local.
later.
Later, homies.
These guys.
When you wish upon a side of beef, soon will come an end to all your grief. But if you've been mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all your teeth.